think it's safe to say that I like the iPhone. I've made hundreds of videos about it over the years, but that doesn't mean it's perfect. There are definitely some faults and frustrations that come with using it. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 10 really frustrating things about the iPhone, and more importantly, show you how to fix them. Okay, let's get into it. The Passwords app on your iPhone is an easy and secure way to automatically fill your login credentials when visiting websites. In general, when you tap into a login field on a website, your iPhone should automatically recognize that you've saved credentials for that site. And with a single tap, you can instantly fill in your details without needing to type anything manually. But this doesn't always work. Sometimes your iPhone fails to recognize the saved login and doesn't suggest the credentials that you need. When this happens, you don't need to copy and paste your details manually. There's actually a quick way to access your saved passwords. Simply long press in the username or password field, whichever one you need to fill in. When you do this, a menu will appear and one of the options should be autofill. Tap autofill, then select passwords. This will take you directly to the Passwords app where you can search for the correct login using the search bar at the top. Once you've found the saved credentials, just tap on them and they'll be instantly entered into the login field. I think it's safe to say that most people don't like the Photos app in iOS 18. Personally, I've actually gotten used to it and I kind of like it now, but there is one feature that I hate. Whenever you tap to access a video, the video starts playing automatically, but it does so without sound. This means that you then have to pause the video, tap the mute button to enable sound, scrub all the way back to the beginning, and then press play again just to hear the audio. It's frustrating, it's unnecessary, and thankfully, there is a really easy fix hidden in your iPhone settings. To stop videos from auto-playing without sound, open the Settings app, scroll to the bottom and tap Apps. Then navigate to Photos. Scroll about halfway down and you'll see an option called Autoplay Motion. Disable this feature and you're done. Now the next time that you open a video in the Photos app, it won't start playing automatically. Instead, you'll have to press play, and when you do, the video will play with sound, exactly how you'd expect it to have worked in the first place. I also don't personally like the fact that videos loop by default in the new Photos app. If you feel the same way, you can disable this feature as well, although of course this is entirely up to you. Do you ever watch these tips videos and think, how am I supposed to remember all of this? If so, you should definitely check out the brand new training portal that I've just launched, iPhone Essentials Plus. It's more than 100 tips for the iPhone, with another 100 being added over the next few weeks, covering every aspect of your iPhone. Each module contains lessons, and each lesson contains a tutorial video, a step-by-step guide with screenshots, and a downloadable PDF. So no matter how you like to learn, you're covered. You can work through each lesson in order, or you can pick and choose what you want to learn at any given time. There's no ads, no sponsors, just content, and you can access it on your iPhone or your tablet or home computer. Plus, no monthly subscription. This is a one-time only payment with lifelong access to all of the content, including all future updates. If this sounds good to you, scan the QR code on screen or click the link in the description of this video. Notifications are a key part of the iPhone experience, but if you find yourself getting notifications that you don't want, there are several ways to manage them. You could set up focus modes or do not disturb, but over time you might start noticing notifications from a specific app that you never actually want. Instead of digging through settings, there is a quick and easy way to stop these notifications with just a couple of taps. To do this, swipe down from the top of your screen to open Notifications Center, then locate the notifications that you don't want. Swipe from right to left on the notification until you see two buttons, Options and Clear. Tap Options and you'll see a few choices. You can mute notifications for an hour or for the rest of the day, view the settings for that app, or turn off, which will completely stop that app from sending notifications. If you ever change your mind, you can always go back into settings and re-enable notifications for that app. But if you want a fast and hassle-free way to deal with annoying notifications, this is the quickest way to do it. If you're enjoying the content here, why not sign up for my weekly newsletter, which is all about tech news and tips delivered free to your inbox each Friday. Sign up via the QR code on screen or the link in the description. Have you ever gotten into your car, connected your iPhone to CarPlay, and suddenly your device suggests a location that it thinks you might want to go to? This is known as significant locations, and it's your iPhone's way of learning your behaviors and trying to make helpful suggestions based on your routine. For example, my phone went through a phase of automatically suggesting our kids' nursery whenever I got into the car at around 4 p.m. While this can be really useful, it can also be annoying, not to mention that some people might feel uneasy about their iPhone tracking locations like this. If you'd rather turn this off or clear the data, here's how to do it. Go into Settings, then scroll down to Privacy and Security. Tap into Location Services, then scroll all the way down and select System Services. From here, keep scrolling until you see Significant Locations. It's almost at the bottom of the screen. Tap into this and you'll have the option to disable significant locations altogether if you don't want your iPhone keeping track of this data. Now, privacy on the iPhone is generally very good, and it is worth noting that this information is end-to-end encrypted and isn't shared with anyone, not even Apple. But if you're uncomfortable with it, you can turn it off completely. You also have the option to clear your history at the bottom of the screen. If you tap this, any locations that your device has already recorded will be erased. Unfortunately, there's no way to delete individual locations. It's all or nothing. But at least now you know how to manage it if you ever want to take control over the suggestions that your iPhone makes. A feature that Apple introduced in iOS 17 is the ability to include reactions in video calls, which trigger on-screen effects in response to physical gestures. For example, if you give a thumbs up while on a call, you might see a blue Facebook-style thumbs up emoji appear on the screen. Other gestures can trigger effects like hearts, balloons, confetti, and fireworks. Now, while these effects can be fun, they aren't always appropriate for every call. They can also become distracting, especially if you use sign language as part of your communication. If you want to turn this feature off, you can, but unfortunately, there is no option to disable it permanently. You have to do it on a call-by-call basis. To disable reactions during a video call, open Control Center, and at the top, you should see a button labeled Video Effects. Tap on this and you'll see options to enable or disable features like Portrait Mode and Studio Light, but you'll also see an option called Reactions. Tap Reactions to turn it off, and the on-screen effects will no longer appear for the rest of your call. One of the biggest frustrations people used to have with the iPhone was how incoming calls would take over the entire screen. It didn't matter if you were playing a game, writing an email, or working on a note. As soon as a call came in, your iPhone would interrupt whatever you were doing, forcing you to either accept or decline the call right there and then. Now, Apple actually fixed this a while back, but it's a setting that you have to enable manually, and I still speak to a lot of people who either don't know it exists or they're still dealing with the full screen interruptions. If you want to change this, here's what you do. Go to Settings, scroll all the way down and tap Apps, then scroll again and select Phone. In the preferred language section, though why it's placed here I'm not entirely sure, you'll see incoming calls. Tap on it and change the setting from full screen to banner. From now on, anytime a call comes in, it'll appear as a small banner at the top of your screen. You can tap the banner to answer or decline, or simply swipe up to dismiss it, allowing you to carry on with whatever you're doing without the call taking over your device. The Mail app redesign in iOS 18 has been a bit like the Photos app redesign. Some people like it, but a lot of people aren't so keen. The biggest change that seems to be throwing people off is the introduction of categories. Your Mail app now automatically sorts your email into 4 groups: primary, transactions, updates, and promotions. It's actually a pretty useful feature once you get used to it. Gmail has had something like this for years now. But if you're not a fan, and you'd rather go back to the old way of having everything in one inbox, you can change it really easily. Just tap the ellipsis button in the top right corner of the Mail app and change the view from categories to list view. And that's it. Your emails will now all show up in a single inbox. If you ever change your mind and you want to switch back to categories, just repeat the process and toggle it back on. Have you ever asked your iPhone's voice assistant to send a message to someone, but you've referred to that person by their nickname and you've got them saved in your phone by their proper name? Your phone obviously has no idea who you're talking about, which is really annoying, but you can fix this. Let me show you how. First, make sure that the person is saved in your contacts. Then open the Contacts app and locate their contact card. Tap Edit in the upper right corner and scroll all the way to the bottom. You'll see an option called Add Field. Tap on this, and from the list of available options, choose Nickname. You'll now see a new field added to their contact card just below their real name. In this field, you can type pretty much whatever nickname you like. Once you've entered the nickname, tap Done to save it. Now, whenever you're using Siri or voice commands, you can refer to that person by their real name or their nickname, and your iPhone will know exactly who you mean. You might have noticed that when you open the share sheet on your iPhone, the menu that pops up when you share web pages, photos, or other content, your device suggests certain people to share with. These are called Siri suggestions, and they're based on your sharing habits. If there's someone in this list that you don't want to appear as a suggestion, you can simply long press on their contact and choose Suggest Less. Your phone will then stop suggesting them as often in the future. On the other hand, if you find the share suggestions annoying and you don't want them at all, you can disable them completely. To do this, go to Settings, tap Apple Intelligence and Siri, or just Siri if you don't have Apple Intelligence, then scroll down to the Suggestions section. From here, turn off the toggle for Show When Sharing. Once this is disabled, your iPhone will no longer suggest contacts when you go to share something, giving you a much cleaner and less cluttered share sheet. This final tip involves Apple Intelligence, which is why I've saved it until the end of the video, but it does at least partially solve one of the iPhone's biggest frustrations, Siri. We know that we're at least a year away, if not longer, from getting the long-promised upgrade to the iPhone's voice assistant. So in the meantime, we have to make the most of what we've got, and while ChatGPT is not perfect, it is already significantly better. If you have a device capable of running Apple Intelligence, make sure that you've got it enabled. Just go into Settings, then Apple Intelligence and Siri, scroll down to the Extensions section, tap ChatGPT, and turn on Use ChatGPT. You can sign in with your OpenAI account if you want, but honestly, you don't need to. The limits shown on this page are pretty minimal, and most people using ChatGPT like this are never going to hit them. Now, in general, your iPhone should be smart enough to recognize when a query needs to be sent to ChatGPT rather than handled by Siri, but you can manually override this if you want to make sure that it happens. So let's say you're about to ask a question that you already know that Siri won't be able to answer. Instead of asking the question straight away, just access your voice assistant and say Ask GPT, followed by whatever you want to ask. The prompt will go directly to ChatGPT, and you're much more likely to get a proper answer back, making Siri just a little bit more useful in the meantime. So there you go, 10 frustrating things about the iPhone along with fixes for each of them. What do you think? Is there anything you would have added to the list that I didn't cover? Drop me a comment and let me know. And as ever, if you found this video useful, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel for more content like this in the future. See you on the next video.